Welcome back, family.
Welcome back, everybody.
All the crab ticking.
Yes.
Every time you do that, all I can think of is Finding Nemo. Mine.
Yeah.
Every time.
The kids know that as
Breathe,
Mommy
Carrie.
Monster.
Breathe, Carrie.
I do really slow, like ominous click clacks. Yeah. Doing the Mommy Monster. I'm coming.
We have less than 20 days to Costa Rica.
We have 13 days.
Today's the 7th. Yeah, we fly out on the 19th.
No, today's Wednesday.
It's the 7th.
Right, but today's Wednesday.
Yeah, we fly out on
So
the 19th.
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days left.
Less than 2 weeks.
11 days. I had that realization. I have like 3 days backlogged on a vlog right now, guys. And I actually had that realization of, oh my gosh, Costa Rica is in 14 days. Blew my mind.
I was just told that I'm not able to be heard. Are you guys able to hear me, or is that purely his shit not working?
Can't wait to make noises with you guys in the jungle.
I mean, they've got to be able to hear us, so.
Yeah.
Absolutely love seeing Deadeye with you on Voice of the Broken. You guys mesh so well, and it's giving me a lot of perspective on how to be a better person. I love that.
I love that.
Enough of the wine and bud. Carrie, will you check and see if there's food on the front porch? Will you check to see if there's food on the front porch?
Speaking of vlogs, I have decided, I actually meant to tell you this on our walk this morning. I did comment on it on my vlog. I am reading from a book on my vlog to have, it's a numerology thing, and I want people to be able to participate if they want to.
Did you get food?
Yes.
Okay. You can give it to her.
Thank you. For a split second, I thought they gave us 3 drinks, and I was like, what is this?
Grace is asking about the black line at your headband. You know, show off your thing.
Yeah, in a second.
Cam Jan said, my mom just got back from Costa Rica. She fell in love with it there. Hope you guys have a great time. I think we'll have an amazing time. I think the amount of people that are going is going to be what makes it amazing. I'll get it. Gives me a reason to stand up back. An opportunity to keep talking about.
Okay, I don't remember
what
I
I was
was
talking about.
talking
Your vlog and a book that you're reading about numerology.
Oh yeah, I have a numerology book, and we're taking tests and we're reading things and we're learning things about ourselves. I had like 4 different epiphanies yesterday within the first 3 pages. I read the intro and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a mess. And I let you know at the start of that segment that if something needs to be cut, I'll say cut that. Otherwise, you won't have to sit through 45 minutes of me reading to viewers or taking a test or
so
whatever.
You wrote a vlog. You made a vlog and you just read a book for the entire time?
No, I didn't read the book the entire time.
Is it really 45 minutes?
I think that first half is like 20-something minutes. I have to get into the second half today.
So I will be looking for the cut me's.
Yes.
Okay.
Cut that. Remove this. But we're taking quizzes to learn about the left side and the right side of our brains.
You can keep talking. I'm moving away.
Yeah. So it wasn't just me reading a book. It's a lot of commentary, me being myself. There's a big old lizard on the patio. What's up, little?
Oh. Angel said I may be going to Tahiti in a few years. Kind of excited. I'd be very excited. Anything in the Polynesians is just gorgeous. Yep.
I heard, was there something about my headband?
Yeah, somebody asked about your headband. Grace asked why you have a black line across your forehead.
Because I don't like having it here. I feel like I don't have the forehead. What is happening right now? Everything's bad. See, I feel like I don't have the forehead. Maybe I do. It doesn't look as bad on camera as it did with me facing myself in the mirror, judging me. But I'm wearing a feather headdress thing today. And that's the headband. I'm tucking it up into my hair because I feel like that. Oh gosh, I don't know. Should I tuck it, guys, or should I just let it freeband on my forehead?
You show off your necklace too.
Oh, my husband got me a necklace. I like it. Very, very tinkly. Ready? Very nice. Very gorgeous.
Iggy said you guys are glowing today. That's because we got to help some of our friends yesterday and it put us in good spirits.
Yes. Yesterday was... I was a little anxious about yesterday, but I think that it worked out for the best for everybody involved, and I feel good about the advice that I had given.
Yep.
Is it cocked? Should I bring this side down? Now I'm hyperfixating on my forehead band.
Push back. Here.
Yeah? I don't know. I kind of mess with it on the forehead. Does it look bad on the forehead?
You just have a line on your forehead.
Okay.
All right, so it's Wednesday, which means we're going to do Q&A stuff. We are totally here just for you guys. What would you guys like to talk about today?
As we wait for that to come in, do you guys remember that Vine of the guy in the Spider-Man outfit? Where he was like, what is it? It's Tuesday, my dudes. You know what that means? Carrie knows what's up. Stop it. You almost made me drop my croissant. Oh gosh, I miss Vine days. It was 7 seconds. How confidence affects attraction. What did he say? It's Wednesday, my dudes? Today's the perfect day for that then. I'm so glad that popped into my mind.
You guys are just throwing comments out there, but we're looking for Q&A stuff. So if you have specifics, let's get specific.
What do you do if one of you has ambition and the other doesn't?
Where did you see that at?
Scroll up a little bit. Right there from Danny Kane.
Okay.
Donnie. I make things too fancy.
Danny. It's Danny.
Danny.
What do you do if one... Well, what would you do, babe? I have to think about that.
Well, are we just talking about ambition in life? Or are you trying to do something together? Because it's going to be a lot harder to have someone jump on board with something that they don't want to do or even hate versus having ambition within their own life to have goals and dreams. Pardon me, smoothies make me burpy. I think that we both have a good level of ambition. We're also allowed to have lazy days. I'm not going to be gung-ho every day to conquer the world.
Right.
Some days I'm just going to want to lay in the moss and decompose.
I think that the question really lands on how do you define success?
Yeah.
Because like you said, where do your ambitions
question.
land? If your ambition is a family, to own your own home and to just kind of coast through life, and that's happiness for you. Mm-hmm. And your person's like a hustle mentality person where they want more money, more clothes, more shoes, more cars,
more lavish lifestyle,
everything, vacations, and the person that you're with doesn't want that. You can't motivate them to become that ambition. It's a different personality type. So I think in that situation, you need to love your person for who they are, not for who you think they should be.
Yeah. Now, to touch on how would I inspire my husband to have more ambition? I would What?
You'd show me your butt and tell me to do something and be like, yes, ma'am.
I mean, yes. But I'm also not going to weaponize sex.
It's not weaponized, it's a reward system.
Yeah.
It's like getting paid at the end of the week.
That is very daily. True, yeah. I would... Not daily, but every once in a while, if we're sitting on the couch watching TV, cuddling, be like, hey, babe, do you remember that time we went to Thailand? And just kind of relive that experience for maybe 30 minutes, have conversations. Do you remember that? Oh, that was so much fun. The boat ride was a blast. And then I would ask, what are we going to do next? I think getting somebody into that... I remember what that was like and I want to recreate it in a different form is a good way to jumpstart that want to live life again. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think it's important for you guys to have conversations about what it is that you want out of life. Because it's going to look different for everybody and it's going to change throughout life. Like you're going to get to a point where you get comfortable.
Yeah.
And you're just be happy with where you are. And that's okay if that's both of you. But if one person isn't there yet and the other person is, there's got to be conversations and there needs to be grace on how to make it work. Because if one person's comfortable and the other isn't, you're both going to have to sacrifice. The one who's not comfortable is going to have to sacrifice the speed of it. And the person who is comfortable has to give up their comfort to make the other person happy. And like,
Yeah.
there's grace. Andrew said, good morning from Washington. Finally got the book you signed for me after finishing the other one. I was already on. Thank you for everything you guys do. I have a second book that's releasing on August 15th. It's called You're Not Broken. It is about reinventing yourself after a breakup or a divorce. And that doesn't just mean a relationship. It could be parents, best friends, a job that you've been at for 15 years that you were very enmeshed with. It is about growth after overcoming a loss, essentially.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to read that before August 15th, it's available on our website, tobebetter.com. It's if you buy the signed copy, which will release on August 15th, you'll get a PDF download so you can read it ahead of time. And so far, it's gotten a lot of really good reviews. So, go ahead.
For people curious, I too am writing a book. I am not the get it done the way my husband is. It's taken me a lot more time. I'm doing things he hates, like deleting chapters.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
It just doesn't feel right. My release date is set for December 1st. I have a deadline. I can't let you guys down. I can't procrastinate too much or be too self-critical. I do this thing where I get so hard on myself that I just give up on the project because I don't think I'm worthy of finishing it. Or I have what it takes to produce something that's worth quality.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, golly.
All those chapters that you've deleted.
Yeah.
Don't you think that if you'd have saved them, you could have just put them later in the book or in a different spot?
No.
Why not?
Because it didn't feel cohesive.
So what?
Right? If I had, for example, if I had like 9 pages of a chapter done, that's too overwhelming for me to try to break it down and fit it into other areas.
Are you writing, are you doing a self-help thing? Or are you doing the mental hospital thing?
I'm doing the self-help thing.
It doesn't matter where it's at, babe.
Okay.
It really doesn't. My book is all over the fucking place.
Oh, gosh.
Stop deleting shit.
I feel like I feel like the chapters need to have a theme and stay on theme.
The chapter does, not,
right.
But it doesn't have to go in order.
No, I know, but like my chapter is not cohesive. I'm jumping around to too many different bullet points and I'm not staying focused on the main purpose of that chapter.
So put it on the burner and come back to it.
Okay, I'll create a separate pad in my Google Drive. Shit I want to delete, but my husband shamed me into not to.
Kira said on Facebook, what do you do if you've created a lot of insecurities for your man? How do you fix it?
Okay. So you said, what do you do if you've created a lot of insecurities for your man? How do you fix it? The way I'm interpreting that is emasculating things may have been said. Maybe you had inappropriate relationships. I'm assuming because you're with a man, you're into men. So you possibly had inappropriate relationships with other gentlemen in your life that he viewed as crossing boundaries, like emotional cheating or talking about your relationship outside of your relationship. Even liking those lumberjack thirst traps on TikTok. Anything that could have been perceived as overstepping, right? Have you acknowledged the hurt he has because of it? That's something that I need just for my husband to acknowledge I recognize what I did hurt you and I'm sorry. And it doesn't have to be a drawn out 45-minute conversation. You need to feel the way that I feel. Just that acknowledgement of I hear you. I can look at my actions. I can see where it hurts you and I'm sorry. How else would I go about? I would ask you what you need from me. So this is going to be a period of healing for you. And there is no deadline on healing. There is something that happened almost 6 months ago. And I still have hurt feelings over it. I'm also not allowing it to affect our life. So I communicate to you, which is something that he hopefully can do within the relationship, is I need reassurance right now, or I need validation. Sometimes I just straight up ask, do you still love me? Do I still do it for your brain wrinkles? And some days I need it more. Some days I'll ask 5 or 6 times. And then sometimes we'll go a week without me needing something like that. And in those moments where it feels more concentrated on you to give the reassurance and the validation, all those kinds of things, that's kind of the crow that needs to be eaten, because you created the cracks within the foundation.
Yeah, but asking for validation and starting fights are 2 different things.
I agree
And
with
a
that.
lot of people will get hurt and want to start fights because they hurt and they want their person to hurt.
Yeah, they don't pay attention to tone or something.
Right. So the way that you're handling that and the way that you're going through things is very different, and it works. Ultimately, change to action is what's going to have to happen. If you've done something to create an insecurity, you're going to have to eat shit for a while you change your behavior and hope that they get over it.
Yeah.
And if they can't get over it, in 5 years from now, they're still throwing the shit in your face, you're in the wrong relationship.
Yes.
You know, you can't live in your past. Tissa for a $10 super chat said, "Good morning. I am interested in going to Greece with y'all. Can I be single and go on that trip?" Absolutely. We have singles going already.
Y'all, we really don't care about your relationship status. We want to experience you as a human being.
Yeah. Don't care about your sexual preferences either.
Yeah, you could be straight, gay, bisexual. Carrie just jumped out of the hallway with a broom and was like, me. You could be polyamorous.
Doesn't matter.
You can have 3 husbands, 2 wives, 14 kids. You could be
You ain't
single
going to
for the
Greece if
last
you got
20
14
years.
kids.
I mean, shit, they
You
might
can't
be
afford
able to.
that. You ain't got no money left.
Polyamorous.
You ain't got no money left. 14 kids is like 3 lifetimes of working.
That is a lot. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Congratulations to those who can cope with it, though. You have so much love to give and care and nurturing, and I think that's beautiful. You can be
Could
single.
you imagine 14 kids?
My gosh,
Jesus.
I can barely handle the 4 we have. I count our dogs as children.
Yeah. That's because they're needy as fuck.
They really are, and they make a bigger mess. I have to tell everyone, wipe your feet before you come in this house.
I almost read the Nightbot's disclaimer just now.
That's funny.
Amanda said, "I need some help. My ex would ghost me for weeks, off and on for 2 years. I'm exhausted and want to move on. I went back to therapy because of it. He is trying to get back to me. I want to move on, but I don't have the words to say no. I don't want to hurt feelings, even though he has hurt mine so bad." This isn't a matter of hurting feelings. This is about setting boundaries and protecting yourself.
Yeah. You do have the words. It's no.
It's the fucking shortest sentence on
That's
the
it.
planet.
No, thank you.
You
Block
showed
his number.
Right. You showed me the kind of person you were when you
Yeah.
ghosted me off and on for 2 years. I'm good.
Yeah.
Go ruin somebody else's life. I don't hate you. I want to see you do really well. It's just not going to be with me.
Yeah. Correct.
Guys, I sold my whiskey collection.
My husband did do that.
Also got rid of one of my cars and sold some camera gear. And we're going to have internet hopefully by the end of the month at the house, because right now we're in our studio. And the whiskey room will no longer be the whiskey room, and we're going to redo that back wall with crystals and books and statues and all kinds of cool shit behind us. And it's going to have a very different feel to the podcast when it's done.
I can't wait.
I can't either. I'm really excited about it.
Oh my goodness. I've been playing my singing bowls, so it's been 2 nights in a row now. I have the room set up enough where
Did you post that photo on Instagram?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I have the meditation room set up good enough that I can have my bowl set up. I still need to get things on the walls, and I'm thinking about getting like a little tiny love seat or something in there, maybe some bean bags for people to lay on, relax. I want to completely cover the floor, but whatever, I'm digressing. I have the singing bowl set up. I've been playing them every night for the last 2 days. Tonight's going to be night 3. Carrie had a blast last night.
Yeah.
For the first round, so the children are hanging out in there. I really want them to get used to just quiet time. And for the first round, it was mommy, 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 mommy. And then it turned into, what's Carrot doing? Is Carrot sleeping? Mommy, is Carrot sleeping? And I was like, guys, just shh. Shh. I'm going to kick you out. Stop it. And we kept going. And then I have a really large one to my right and I ding it. It's called chirping. I'm learning a whole slew of things. And I do my 2 chirps and it signifies the end of the sound bath. And I looked at the children and I was like, we're done. And they were like, no, we want to keep going. What are you doing? And I was like, Carrie, do you want to hang out for like another 15 minutes? We can do another little. And she's like, yeah. And our daughter climbed into her lap and our son laid down on your meditation pillow. And I started it up again. I was doing my thing. I'm getting a really good hand on moving the mallet and my suede stick. And like I looked up and it looked like our son was falling asleep. Our daughter was nodding off in Carrie's lap. Her head was doing this. And Carrie's just sitting there with her eyes closed, enjoying herself. I'm having fun with this. I feel like I'm providing a sense of healing, and it's nice.
Nicole said tips for self-discovery and early recovery. Thanks.
Hobbies.
Yeah. Learn to love yourself being alone. People are so afraid of just existing by themselves.
Gosh, find joy in the silence.
Yeah. In recovery, and I'm assuming you mean addiction recovery.
Yeah.
You need things to fill your time. Not distract you, but fill your time so that you're not just sitting there twiddling your thumbs bored. I would start doing really small things that fill your cup and try to find new hobbies that you're going to enjoy doing and just go out there and figure out who you are now because you're opening a new chapter of your life. And ultimately, after an addiction, you don't know who you are anymore, especially if you were in addiction for a long time, active addiction for a long time. What are my thoughts on that one? Scrolling for super chats because we're way behind. David C said, I'm about 1/3 through your new book and I got a journal to start writing and working through separation with my ex. It's a little overwhelming to work through it and showed me I have work to. Yeah, you do. I think at some point in my book, I started referring to your journal as your handy dandy notebook. I know that when I was writing it, that's what I was typing. And I think I went back and changed all of it to journal, but that was my like laughter while I was writing the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're finding assistance in the healing process. Grace said, would you two ever consider writing a workbook together for couples? Be a great physical tool to go back through the years. We've talked about it. We have absolutely talked about it. It's just a matter of time. Because I would write my book in 2 weeks and
gosh, I started like 3 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling through chapters. I'm also somebody who needs motivation to do things. If I'm not sitting down and enjoying what I'm doing, I'm not putting my whole ass into it. And you can tell it's halved. And I'm not willing to put out work like that. So I take my breaks and I focus on other things. I'm a very whimsical person. I need whimsy in my life, not just...
You could do it, babe.
I'm doing it.
Put your back into it. You said all ass.
I did. My lower back hurts, though.
Dean is in the chat. What's up, brother?
Hi, brother.
I hope that
I
you're
hope
doing
you're
well.
doing well.
Tiffany said for a $10 super chat, been together 5 years, feels like the only one trying at this point. He says he views our dynamic more as best friends instead of lovers now. Can we come back from this? Yeah, he's basically telling you that you guys feel like roommates. Start dating again. Like be intentional.
Flirtatious.
Yeah, be intentional with what you're doing. It's not hard to like pretend that you don't know your person and ask them what's going on. In 5 years, your person's changed.
Yeah.
You've changed.
We are not the same people we were when we met.
Right. There's a whole ass universe inside of people that you need to rediscover over and over again. And that's what keeps life interesting. Go to dinner, leave your phones in the console of your car, and talk to each other.
Do things together that you've not done before, like go kayaking.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, an old car museum. Museums in general are just great. I love talking about history with my man.
You have to learn to start dating again.
Yeah.
And get out of that roommate phase. And that comes with intent.
Yes, it does. My husband knows what it means when I throw a pillow on the ground.
Wow. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Andrew said, what are your guys' thoughts on me getting back with my ex? I've been on and off with her for...
Sorry, Carrie.
I've been on and off for 6 years. We are both 19 now, and I've been off and on with her since.
Wow.
We were 14. I mean, most people say we are too young to actually love each other, and most of the times we split was because of my life decisions, and I didn't want her around the people and crowd I surrounded myself with. But I feel like I have a future with this girl, and I do love her now, but I'm in Mississippi and she's in New York. So we are in a long distance relationship, so I'm hoping it works out. What are you guys' feelings on long distance relationships? Like, do you have any advice?
You
Go
are
ahead, babe.
you are both very, very young still. And what I'm about to say is not meant to discredit childhood love, right? Middle school, high school, early 20s, you both are still figuring out how to be human beings. So, were arguments had, were fights had, life decisions made? Yes. I would take all of it with a grain of salt, though. Because, like I said, you're still developing human beings. And one of my most selfish times in my life was my late teens, early 20s. I was getting my first taste of freedom, and after being shackled for so long, I'm going to run wild and free. I don't care who I hurt. Nobody can tell you not to get back together with her.
Right.
If you want to be with her, you can certainly do that. I would use your guys' mistakes throughout childhood as a roadmap of what to avoid going into adulthood. I think that will give you guys an upper leg that a lot of people dating nowadays don't have, because you have that history together. You know what it felt like to hurt one another already and make poor decisions and all those kinds of things. In regards to long distance relationship, it's totally doable. People do it all the time.
I couldn't.
People in the army, people have to do it sometimes because of custody, have to live in separate states. Sometimes people are in school and have to go halfway across the country for the next year and a half, whatever the case may be. It's trying. It takes a lot of intention, right? Relationships already take a lot of intention and concentration and concerted effort. A long distance relationship is going to take so much more because your only connection is the internet. Phone calls, texting, photos. I could not do long distance relationship either. I did it once. I dated a guy in Italy. It was one of the most mentally messed up situations I've ever been in.
Yeah.
I am somebody who needs physical touch. I don't like it when my husband leaves the house to drive 25 minutes up the road to play video games. I need you to be in the same room with me for my body to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't do the long distance thing. I could do it if we were already together and, like, you know,
circumstances,
6 months, a year, something like that, like, had to happen because of whatever. But I wouldn't want to live my life like that. And at 19 years old, you're going to have to decide whether or not one of you are going to move to make this work.
Yeah.
And what that looks like. And if you guys are in a long distance relationship for the next 5 years and you're used to living alone and not having your person up your ass all the time, and they're a pen pal essentially, even though the feelings are there, when they come into your life, it's going to be a very different thing. It'll be really nice in the first couple of months. But then when that the solitude is gone and you no longer have your free time and your ability to go do the things that you want to do or play video games or sleep in or whatever the case may be, there's going to be a resentment that builds because you got so used to not having somebody in your life for so long. There's a whole lot of that.
I would sit down and brainstorm everything that could go wrong just to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Everything is able to be overcome.
You can overcome anything.
You can do anything if you truly want to.
Yeah.
There's a solution to everything in life. You just have to pick the hard you're going to choose.
Yep. Trinity became a member for 4 months, level early access message. My fiance and I finished moving into our first house and I am currently taking a hiatus from work. What are some ways I can keep myself from doom scrolling and keeping up with the chores? It's not hard to keep up with your chores. You put your phone down and do the things that you need to do.
Yeah. What I do is, so I have anxiety. I can do silence, but if I have a lot going on in my mind, I have to have something playing in my ear. That's why I have my earbuds on me so often. I will leave my phone in the bedroom, put on something that'll play for, like, I'm doing a lot of like 3-hour history rundowns on YouTube right now. So I'll put on something like that for 3 hours, clean the house in an hour and a half, go on my phone, turn it off, leave it in there, and then I'll go relax on the couch and watch one of my favorite shows after I'm done cleaning. I make it a point to separate myself from my phone because I know what it's like to get trapped in that doom scrolling. It's like a riptide at the beach. You just get sucked out there and then all of a sudden you don't recognize it's been 4 hours and you've done absolutely nothing with your life today.
It's important to remember that technology is designed to keep you on it.
Mm-hmm.
Every social media app is programmed to keep you on the app as long as possible.
Be addicted.
And when you stop using the app and you're on it less frequently, they start doing things like sending you new notifications that you wouldn't have gotten before. Facebook is notorious for that. They'll be like, hey, did you see this post in this group?
Oh, I have all that shit turned off.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. But now I'm getting it on Instagram also. Also, Instagram has really stepped their game up.
Yeah.
Knowing that TikTok is going away or potentially going away, our Instagram account, the main To Be Better Instagram, is getting a fuck ton of views. It's not monetized because Instagram won't pay us. Facebook does, but it's doing, our videos are doing better on Instagram than they are on TikTok, which is wild to me because we have a quarter of the following on Instagram.
It is crazy.
Anyway, so social media is designed to keep you using. You are the user, which means that they are selling you their product and you are using their service.
Right.
The idea of depression, I'm not good enough, buy this thing, scroll. You eat up so much of your time that you forget to live your life. I have a huge problem with that shit. And since we've gone to ceremony, my screen time has gone way the fuck down. I don't play on my phone like I used to. I'll play Magic at the computer when there's nothing going on, but I listen to YouTube and that's about it. Or I'll get in Discord and interact with our tribe because, those are the people that I enjoy most in life when we, are talking about random people. But I don't know. I would try to avoid doom scrolling, period. Cohen said, what are ways you can start to repair or / reconnect after a conflict without being physically together? Also, Chris loved the first book and the second. My go-to thing, like if we weren't together, like physically living together, I would be sending you shit at work. Edible arrangements, chocolates, flowers, cards. I would be sending you physical items like pebbling, but with real shit. I would be doing all kinds of things to let you know that like I'm very aware of how my actions affected the relationship and the things that I need to work on. And we would be having discussions about that. And I would hope that you'd be like, yeah, I handled this wrong. I could have done this better. And like, that's what the repair looks like. But back to the earlier, somebody said something about dating and like, reclaiming that the physical gift giving goes a long way, especially when it's not been discussed.
Yeah.
Having something just show up because you love somebody and it's Tuesday is so much better than because it's Valentine's Day and you're obligated to do it.
Yes. I would mail you food.
Yeah?
Yeah. One of my ways to show love is to cook. And I know how busy you are. So if we were not in the same location, I would mail you food.
Yeah.
That way when you got home, you can just pop it in the microwave or
it's huge.
Whatever.
Bethany said long distance opened me up for abuse because I was focused on what was, not what is. Good point. Jenna said, laughing my ass off. Chris left a gaming session yesterday. Like, I miss my woman and I don't like it when she isn't in the room with me. I got to dip. That actually happened yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. Thanks, Jenna.
I was wondering why you got home so early yesterday.
That's funny. Just called me out.
Oh, I love that you love me.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Yep. I can't wait until there's video game stuff at the house.
I know.
Yep.
I can sit on the couch and journal or be in the meditation room with the door open.
Be in the same space again.
Yeah.
Nikita said, my partner and I have been together for a little bit now. And when I asked him how close he feels.
When I asked him how does he feel that he is almost 30, I am 22 and he is 29. And he feel like he has done nothing with his life because all of his friends are married, have kids and houses. And as much as I feel for him, I have not experienced that as I am a little younger than him. How can I make him feel like he has been doing amazing because he has and he is getting promoted at work, but he still feels like he hasn't accomplished anything with life? Does he want to be married? Does he want to have kids? Approaching milestones in life and not being where you thought you would be can be devastating. And with him being almost there, right, we have no idea about any of your guys' life, what his past relationships look like, what his desires and dreams were. But he's approaching 30. And for some people, that's half their life. If he expected to be somewhere differently and he's not there because of choices that were made or extenuating circumstances that forced him to make a choice in his life that deferred him from his intended path for himself, it's okay for him to feel this way. There's a grieving process that has to happen.
It took me until I was 30 to really get my head out of my ass. It took me almost dying in a motorcycle accident at 29 for me to get my head out of my ass. But when it comes down to it, telling him and reassuring him that he's doing all of those things is not going to get him to where he wants to be. So what you need to do is sit down and devise a plan to get to the point where he's trying to be where he thinks he should be at 30 years old. Mm-hmm. And then start taking the steps to get there. If he's stressed out that his friends are married, that's an easy solution.
Right.
If he wants to be married, then you guys need to get married. Unless that's not what you want. And if that's not what you want, then you should just say that to him. But the idea of having a quarter life crisis is very fucking normal.
Yeah.
I had a complete mental breakdown at 25. And it took me 5 years after that before I got my shit together enough to like really start diving into business and like doing the thing versus
living your life,
bouncing from couch to couch, going to fucking shows and doing drugs. Ultimately, it's going to be about how do you get to the point where he wants to be? And are you going to be that pillar to help him get there? Tiffany said, I'm scared we've become incompatible. Sorry about the green flashes. I'm scared we've become incompatible at this point. What he wants in life now is so different. Political views, hobbies, communication did grow apart. If your political views have changed and his hasn't, or his has changed and your hasn't, there's been lack of communication there as to why. Hobbies are going to always change. Communication should evolve. So all of those things are things that are normal life shit that everyone goes through. But if all of your standpoints and all the things that you're into is very different than what he's into, I would say, you grew apart.
Yeah.
But you can work on growing back together. It's not hard to start dating your person again.
It's all a choice.
It is.
Yeah.
Got to let go of the resentment. And there is resentment.
Wait, Janae said, OMG, Peach, I love those things. What things? What were we talking about?
I'm going to start sending you things like that on YouTube, LOL. Probably the history things.
Ah, yes. Thank you.
Jenna said, not me literally wearing my husband's sweater that he wore yesterday because he's at work and I miss his scent.
Yeah.
Okay. So really important question for me. So my girlfriend wants kids also.
This is the 19-year-old.
Huh?
This is the 19-year-old asking about long distance.
Is it?
Yeah. This is the same person.
Okay. Well, you're long distance. Ain't no kids happening. Anyways, my girlfriend wants kids also, right? And I'm like, I tell her, okay, I can't even read that. I can't. If you guys are going to send things, please take a second to not use text to type and actually be proper with the way that you speak in things so that we can read it. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. But reading things like that without punctuation is very fucking difficult for my brain. I struggle. Make things easier on me so that we can help you. Dory said, my husband has made it a goal to make me a stay-at-home. How do I go about him understanding it's okay if it doesn't happen without belittling his goal? Ooh, that's a good one. Is it his goal or our goal?
Right. I was just about to say, is this something that you want? How do I go about him understanding it's okay if it doesn't happen without belittling his goal? So if he's made it a goal, he wants it to happen. There's not an option in his mind for this to not happen because he thinks it might make you happy, or he could be a controlling fuckface. Either or. But if you saying, how can I let him know I'm okay if this doesn't happen, is your way of saying, I don't want this to happen, I'd rather work or whatever, that needs to be the conversation, not if this doesn't pan out, no hurt feelings over here, I'm not going to blame you or anything like that.
I'm curious how meticulous people are with their planning.
Yeah.
So your cognitive bias, your lived experience is your norm, right? And like everything that we do is normal to us. So when people ask questions like this and it's no duh to us because of the way that we live our lives. I have to remind myself that people don't see the world the way that I see the world.
Right.
And they don't live their lives the way that we live our lives.
Mm-hmm.
We have constant meetings with each other. And they're not like sitting down at a table with our glasses on and our fucking tablets taking notes. But like when we walk the dogs, we talk about our finances and we talk about where we want to be in 6 months and future of their home. And like we have these conversations 5 or 6 times a week.
Yeah.
Because things are ever evolving. For example, the purging of things that I own. We've managed to come up with almost $20,000 that we didn't have before. That I'm like, what do we do with this money?
Mm-hmm.
Should we use it to do this or should we do that with it? What if we pay down a vehicle? What if we pay off a vehicle? Like, what are we doing with all of this now? And we made decisions on it. And like that meticulous planning is necessary for us to get to where we want to go. If you and I are having a conversation on the couch, I'm like, man, I really wish I could retire you. And you're watching TV and that's the end of the conversation. There's nothing there. That's just
Right.
a thought in the moment where I wish I could you didn't have to go to work tomorrow because I know you hate your job.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was like, all right, I've gone over the last 6 months of our finances. We have X amount of dollars in savings or whatever. Or even if there is no savings and I have been financing our entire life for the last 6 months and I know that I don't need your income and I would like to retire you. Here's what I think we need to do to make that happen. The meticulous planning needs to take place.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that I don't need your income, maybe we need to take the next 6 months of you working, save everything that we make and put it into an emergency fund. So that way we have an emergency fund in the event that you're not working, that we have a backup plan. Mm-hmm. Or maybe we take that 6 months of money and start a small business online where we don't have to do a whole lot of work physically. You can operate that from home while I'm at work and it's just email shit, right? Or you can do, what is it? Fucking website that Zach always recommends. It's something ratrace.com, but it's all work from home shit where you can work remote.
Gotcha.
Right? Like there's a whole lot of things that you can do from that aspect if that's what you want to do with your life. But if you don't have the really hard in-depth conversations and you're just fucking winging it, you're gonna have a whole lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Whole lot of problems. Iggy said, how do you go about difference in religious views, specifically talking about religion when you disagree about really big things? That's a hard one. Religion's a hard one.
Especially if there are children involved.
Especially when there's children involved, because now we have to figure out how the kids are going to be raised. If people realize that your religion is your relationship with your creator, and that's as far as that needs to go, it changes things. Mm-hmm. I don't have to agree with what you're doing as long as you're not corrupting my relationship with God. That's my belief though, right? Like I understand there are people out there who think they got to go knock on people's doors and save the fucking world. It depends on where the religious aspects lies. Mm-hmm. But that's a hard one, especially when you have somebody who's diehard Christian, like religious Christian that wants to follow doctrine. And if you don't believe, you're going to burn in a lake of fire. And I can't be my wife if you're not a Christian woman and all of that shit. Like that, you can't overcome that. You're not going to change their mind unless you're willing to convert to do all of that. The relationship's not going to work.
Yeah.
I also think that speaks to the level of religion that people have. And it's also important to acknowledge the fact that somebody that has faith could go very far into their faith later in life. And you'll have to deal with that shit too. Bry bread. You have 2 accomplished people. You guys I have. Damn it. Why can't I read today?
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, you just read, babe. I'm going to sit over here and sip my drink and be pretty for the podcast.
Okay. I have 2 accomplished people. You guys are amazing on my books for pet grooming. I just added a 3rd author to my grooming schedule, Stephen King. No way.
Yeah, he lives out there.
I know. That's crazy.
I'm willing to bet our dogs are better behaved.
I'd believe that. It has always been one of those. It feels weird to call it a dream, but like that's the only term I can think to use here. So I've grown up here my whole life. And one of my parents worked for a company that it was required to drive around and hit multiple stores out on Venice Island, into Siesta Key, like all over the place. And my parental unit was able to run into Stephen King multiple times because of it.
I'm willing to bet that we get recognized in public more than he does.
I hate that for him.
I don't.
He's such a good author. I would enjoy running into Stephen King.
I would imagine that he would get sick of that shit.
You know, so there was actually a store manager who worked at a Publix on the island that when Stephen King comes into the Publix, it's mandated for the employees not to approach him. Like if he needs help, he'll seek somebody out, but otherwise don't say anything to this man when he walks through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's a different level of fame.
I agree.
Yeah. Tabby said, I need advice. My boyfriend got mad at me. Oh, you're supposed to be reading, not me.
Okay. I need advice. My boyfriend got mad at me Saturday night over something small that we could have talked about and moved on, but he said he needs time to process. Wonder why it became a fight.
Well, okay, so without reading anything else, it's small to you, but if he needs time to process, it's not to him.
Right.
That's your cognitive bias.
Mm-hmm.
That's you saying it's not a big deal, get over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continuing, which I understand. I haven't seen him since, and he hasn't been talking much. He knows how bad this is hurting me, and I explained I understand, but I don't think it's okay to ignore my feelings because you're mad at me, especially not days on end.
I agree with that.
It's been 4 days. Sure, take a couple of hours, then come talk to me and we can move on, but he said it's not fair to rush his process. Okay, so if you guys are still maintaining contact, right? Why'd you shake your head?
Because this is boyfriend-girlfriend shit and they're not living together.
Right.
So this is like new relationship problems.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tolerate that. You're going to ghost me for 4 days and expect me to just be here when you decide that I'm good enough to talk to again? Fuck that. When you and I have problems and we are going through things and we're processing, we still converse.
Right, but they're saying, this person said that her feelings are being ignored, not that conversation isn't happening.
He hasn't been talking to me much.
Well, if you're continuing to push the conversation and he said he needs time to process, I wouldn't talk to you either.
Okay. That's fair.
Like
That's
if
fair.
I'm trying to have conversations about, I don't know, what do you think about the Webb telescope in space right now? And you hit me with, I'm not willing to talk to you until we figure out what this problem is. Okay, then I'm just not going to talk to you.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit more context would be helpful. If this dude is just a mean person and is not conversing with you, period, because he's upset, I would have that conversation of, look, this is not the kind of relationship I want to have.
Right.
There needs to be a baseline of what our relationship is, even when we're upset with each other.
I agree. I'm not doing that silent treatment shit.
No.
You don't speak to me for 4 days while we're going through like conflict, and you can't be civil and act like we still have a relationship. We're just not going to have a relationship, especially when we're that early in the relationship. Like that's a huge red flag to me. I'm going to be with somebody who wants to be around me and wants to share this existence with me, not somebody that only keeps me around when I'm convenient to them.
Right. At the tail end, she said, I've been so miserable, I physically got sick, but he is still being cold and distant. What do I do? So if you're becoming physically sick because somebody isn't talking to you is a red flag to me internally for a person. It could be codependency. It could be counterdependency. It could be a whole host of things, but if you get to a point where you have a visceral reaction because somebody in your life is not okay, which by proxy makes you not okay, I would take a step back and see what I need from a relationship before continuing.
That website was Rat Race Rebellion. They put it in the chat. I agree with all of that.
Yeah, and I want to elaborate. When my husband's having a bad day, I don't have a great day. My day is okay, but I'm not going to jump on the train of whatever my husband's going through and now we're both just going to have shit days.
Right. Why would you do that?
Right. I need to maintain a level of me to... I need to be the lighthouse in the hurricane storm that you're in. I'm going to get rained on. Clouds are going to be clustered and dark, but I'm not experiencing the waves the way you are in the sailboat on the water. Versus me being the lighthouse that you come to. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because sometimes it's fucking okay to dance in the rain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, if I am having a bad day, dance in the rain. Be that light. Get rained on. Who gives a fuck? But both of us getting together and being the storm that's
Yeah.
that's clashing, like that's not going to solve anything for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to jump on that roller coaster. It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
I just figured I would jump into your analogy with that.
I like that. I'll dance in the rain, babe.
I know you will.
I got you.
I've walked outside and you've been naked in the backyard sitting in a cushion while it's raining. I'm like, what are you doing?
Going through it.
Brandy said, what advice would you give someone contemplating a Mother Aya retreat? What should I do to prepare and help make this decision and recommend places? Where you live matters. There's a lot of places that are doing ayahuasca retreats now. The place that we use is in Florida. It's called Sacred Vine. They're part of the Hunikuan tribe, which is a really big deal for us because there's actual tribe members that come in and we have medicine people and shamans and the whole thing. The diet matters.
Yes.
I know that you're going to find, to me, the diet matters because before we went to our first ceremony, I got online. There was a whole lot of people like, we do this shit all the time with no diet.
Yeah.
I think that it helps with the purging.
Mm-hmm.
So diet matters. It also sets a precedence for you to take care of yourself after the ceremony.
Yes.
So the 2-week diet matters. Making your intentions ahead of time matters. Having journal for integration matters. Making sure that the place that you go to provides integration, at least a single session of integration. Should do it while they're there, and then maybe 1 or 2 afterwards would matter. That's a lot. There's a lot that goes into that, but ultimately you have to know whether or not you're ready to take that step with the medicine because it's going to change your life.
It is.
Jenna said it wasn't hard with us having kids. We agreed that kids would attend Catholic elementary school because they teach world religion, and once they get to high school, they would decide if they wish to continue. That's fair. Or go to public school.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, babe.
So I have a huge thing, but my fiance and I, going on 3 years, have just upgraded to a house, and my friend moved in to help us with bills. Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't live outside of your means.
Right.
One, and I've experienced this, one of the fastest way to ruin your relationship is to move other people into your sanctuary.
Right. It changes your entire living space.
Yes, it changes how you live your life. It got to the point to where the only reprieve I had was sitting in my car in an empty parking lot at Walmart at 4:00 in the morning.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You might as well live in your car at that point because you're happier there.
Yeah. Continuing, now it seems her boyfriend stares at me and she stares at my fiance. What would you guys do?
I would kick them out.
I would kick them out. I'm not playing stupid games like that. Yeah. Find a way to get more income to afford the house that you guys just moved into. Don't live outside of your means. I understand wanting things in the moment. I am not willing to sacrifice the sanctity of my relationship and my peace of mind within my household to rely on other people for my survival. I'll live in a shoebox before we get a house that we can't afford and have to have other people live with us.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to read that one?
Which one? From Travis on Facebook. So I've been working on getting back into the dating scene using dating apps and family or friends trying to get me into dating again. It's been over a decade since I've been in a relationship. Do you two have any advice? Do you have anything on your podcast about this? Something that could help guide me back into a relationship. Just need some additional knowledge on this.
I think our entire podcast covers that. I think the biggest thing here is after a decade, you have to realize the dating game is not the same.
Yeah.
What you were doing 10 years ago is not going to work now. And the people now have become more jaded. There's a lot more ugliness.
Yeah.
The
audacity of approaching me.
Right. I think that friends and family, like hookups, are going to work a lot better than the swiping thing, especially for men. You know, you get on a dating app, it's mainly about asking you for money.
Yeah. I need help with my electric bill this month.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a whole lot of ugly and all of that shit.
My kids need food.
I would start making a list of all the things that you would not go watch the first like 15 episodes of the podcast. Because we talk about that a lot, about setting your intentions, making lists of what you will and will not accept in a partner, setting your boundaries and all that shit. Yep. Scrolling, we got way behind. Okay. Vibe
See
is
you later, vibe.
My fiance and I always had someone living with us. 4 years later, we're finally by ourselves and learning how to navigate that. You'll be a lot happier.
Yeah, a lot more freedom.
Yep. Dean said, "Oh my God, yes, I'm kicking my sister, 20 years old, going to college, out of my house because she is killing my peace and sanity." Yep.
Good for you.
Reball said, "That is why our family lives in a old rented farmhouse. Owner doesn't need to rent, but we needed a home and he opened it for us. Cheapest rent we could get around and not live in a condo or an apartment." Glad that worked out for you. Iggy said, "I got to go." Oh, she's leaving. See ya.
See you later, Iggy.
It's weird being at the bottom of the chat.
Yeah. How's your smoothie?
Not bad. It's very thick today.
Yeah, mine's very thick too, and I don't like it. I like it melted and easily to drink. I tell the kids that I like my ice cream soupy. That's how I like my smoothies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your
soupy.
soup?
I like my soup hot.
See, I like my soup not watery.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a thicker consistency. I don't like it when it's like water.
What about oatmeal? Oatmeal the same way?
I like it chunky. Like
I put peanut butter in my oatmeal.
yeah, I like it to be like a paste.
Stir that shit. Yeah. It's like thick. You can pick it up and go and hold it upside down
like a Dairy
a
Queen.
blizzard. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Speaking of soup, with my women's call today, how would you feel about Olive Garden for?
I'd have to find something that I can eat from there.
I think that's doable. Their pasta fagioli soup is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of vegetables, a lot of beans. I like to dip my bread in it. I eat a lot of carbs too.
Right. Well, I'm not trying to do that. So
what? Eat carbs?
Eat just straight bread. Every time you get Olive Garden, I find myself face fucking breadsticks.
I get like 16 breadsticks, guys.
And they're just sitting on the table, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm bored. Here's a breadstick." Oh, I'm bored again. 5 minutes later, here's another breadstick.
Yeah.
Jade Bet said, "I gave my brother and his girlfriend a timeline to get out when they moved in with us. It gave them motivation to do what they needed to do to get their own place." That's good.
Beautiful.
Moose said, "I can never word a question to you guys right without going on a tangent about my relationship. How can I bring a question to you in form without hopping on Discord?" He sent us an email at tobebetterco@gmail.com. What smoothies do you guys get?
My husband gets the peanut butter cup with whey protein and vital collagen.
And oats.
And oats, yes.
Sub Splenda.
Yes, with Splenda. We don't do their
Sugar shit.
Trubano or whatever it's called. And then I do the Bahama Mama with Splenda. And then I add chia seeds, collagen, and whey protein.
Jay said that Krista intentionally lets her ice cream melt and then mix it all together.
Like different flavors. That feels like sociopathic behavior. I'm not gonna. How are you gonna mix? Like, I'm picturing like the strawberry, the chocolate, and the vanilla all in one tub. Every time that was purchased for our household as a child, it would enrage me.
Why?
I don't know. My autism. They
'Cause it
shouldn't be
touches?
touching.
Yeah, I get
Why
that.
would you put 3 flavors in one container?
I get that.
Demonic.
I don't want my food touching on my plate.
Yes.
So I get it.
Yeah.
It all comes out as a turd, so it really shouldn't matter.
No, but some flavors and textures shouldn't commingle. Oh my gosh, yes. Like if
I'm not surprised.
if there are peas touching chicken nuggets, the wetness of the pea is gonna make the chicken nugget soggy, and we have to.
That's
the whole
funny.
plate's going out to the farm. We need to make something else.
Grace said, any advice for explaining chronic illness or pain to a husband that has never really been sick before? I honestly have no idea how to help you with that because I've always dealt with pain, but nothing like I've been dealing with for the last year. And it fucking sucks. And there's no way to explain that you're having a bad day other than I'm in a lot of fucking pain. And I'm sure at times you get tired of hearing it. But I also have a big fear of being an inconvenience to my person. I worry about that shit a lot.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I don't get tired of it.
Yeah. I still function though.
At the end of the day, you're the one who's experiencing all of this pain. All I get from it is this sucks.
Yeah.
Or my back is hurting me today.
Well, I also don't make excuses to not get shit done.
Yeah.
And if it's something that needs to get done that I know that I'm not capable of doing because of my back, I'm finding somebody else to do the job.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm allowing my chronic pain to influence our life. I'm also not doing opioids. On days that I'm having a really bad day, I microdose.
Yeah.
And that fucking helps. And whatever those from Canada fucking pills that I have that are just acetaminophen and a low dose muscle relaxer is fucking a godsend when I'm having a really rough day. But Jennifer Knott said, outside of telling my husband I'm proud of him for not drinking, what is something else I can do to encourage him to keep going? Lee Loaf has entered the chat.
Yes, she has. She has been scratching at my chair. Don't lick me. Outside of telling my husband I'm proud of him for not drinking, what is something else I can encourage him to keep him going? I would plan an extravagant date night that my husband would enjoy. And at the end of the date night, I would let him know we were able to do this because you stopped buying alcohol. All of the money that would have gone to you drinking paid for our evening.
There you go. That's huge. That's huge.
Thank you for that sacrifice for us to have memories like this.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good answer.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to touch it. Like, there's nothing that I can say that's going to top that.
Yeah. Oh gosh, she's not even panting in my direction. I can smell her breath. You need a dental bone. Don't lick my titty.
Did you see that that Bri said that our dogs are like perfect animals?
I did not see that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time we pick the kids, every time we pick the dogs up from her, and she just, I feel like she showers us with the affirmations and validation we need as pet parents.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
Shay said, I live with fibro and talk about spoons a lot. If you live with fibro, you need to look into lion's mane mushrooms. It's legal. There's nothing like psychedelic about it. It is literally just a fucking mushroom that helps with nerve damage. And that is a big deal when it comes to fibromyalgia. Lorna said, not repeatedly talking about the pain of the convo. Not repeatedly talking about the pain, the convo of what you need to do. Make the convo about what they can do to help. Okay, I missed that one above. There's another one up there. Good question. Ask them if the most amount of pain, and then say it's like that all the time. Mad Moose said, your reaction video to your BPD episode enticed my wife and I to discuss our past and put a lot of things to rest. I love that.
That's beautiful.
D Payne said something from Canada. Yeah. So I'll send a picture of it to you in WhatsApp when we're done. That'll be the easiest way because I don't know what it's in there and I'm not going to get up and go get it right now.
You still got that dreadlock going?
Cheyenne said, I'm struggling with helping a friend that has BPD. I've given her years of advice, love, and help, and she's not changing her path to help herself. She needed to hear what I said, and now I'm blocked. She needed to hear what I said. No, you needed her to hear what you said.
Right.
And she blocked you. You can't change people, guys. And trying to help somebody that doesn't want your help is how you fucking get drowned.
I refuse to drown for somebody who won't stand up in 3 inches of water.
Yeah.
Sometimes speaking the truth to somebody will get you blocked.
Yeah.
You may never hear from her again.
Yep.
And that should have been a part of the calculated consequences of do I or do I not have this conversation?
Right. Lemon said you asked your question twice and it got missed. It's probably because I was scrolling at one point. So just ask it again. You're not spamming the chat. Or send a super chat. It's guaranteed to get read. Bethany said I have degenerative disc disease. So do I. So do I. And I am from my S1 to my L3 is bone on bone, which is why, well, almost bone on bone. My L4 and L5 have pushed into my spine, which is why I'm having the issues that I'm having with my lower back. But my C 2, 3, and 4 and the back of my neck is bone on bone, which is why I get the nerve damage in my fingers. But now I think the last MRI that I had, they told me that I have osteoarthritis in my spine too, which is fucking great.
Sick.
Love that. Thanks, doc. Just what I fucking needed was one more thing. However, crazy as it is, microdosing decreases inflammation, which helps osteoarthritis.
That shit in your spine.
Yeah. I get stuck in certain positions. I explain to my husband I can't do this particular thing because I will get stuck. Sometimes that's just the conversation that has to happen.
One of the first instances of you coming to save the damsel in distress in our relationship was coming to my apartment and picking me up off the floor.
Yes, it was.
And that was literally all you came over to do.
Yep.
You had to stop your day to come help me. I also had both of my kids. Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
They were in diapers at that time.
That's funny.
Yeah. Thank goodness I gave you a key because I was not getting up by myself.
Yeah. Could you imagine? I'm here now. What? Oh no, the door's locked.
Fuck.
Bitch, you better crawl. Sabrina said, any plans in July? Sending birthday invite soon for little man's first birthday. We love including you both, even if you can't make it. You can send the invite. July is something that we haven't planned yet. July and September are the only 2 months that we don't have big plans. I know that I want to try to do another ayahuasca retreat in July, depending on what's going on with the tribe and when the dates, like if it's available on time that we can do it. But that, as of right now, that's the only real big July thing that I've got. I don't think that we've got much.
I do want to plan a trip in July or June when we get back from Costa Rica. I want to take the kids somewhere.
We
feel
can
like
do that.
They're getting cabin fever.
We can do that. We can plan we can go fucking fly Jenny in and go spend a week in a cabin in Tennessee.
Oh, yes.
Those cabins up there are cheap compared to all the other things that we were doing. Dude, you want to talk about some fucking stupidity? We have that mod retreat in November, and I started looking at cabins.
Yeah, November
to host all of those people, and we're like $8,000 to $12,000 for a week. Yeah, it is not going to be a cheap expense.
I thought we were doing a weekend.
Well, however long we do it, if we only did a weekend, we'd have to get there Thursday so that when everybody started showing up Friday, we could be there and be out of there Monday afternoon.
All right, go Lilo. You keep inching like you're gonna jump.
A weekend would probably be better. Lemon said, "Thank you, Chris. I just don't want to be rude. How do you keep a good mindset when setting boundaries with pushy family members?"
What you're doing is not selfish. They're just taking it personally.
Right. Would you feel bad about setting those boundaries with anyone else? And if the answer to that is no, why do you feel bad about doing it with people who are supposed to love you? I understand that my expectations of what I will and will not accept in my life might bother you. And that says a whole lot about the character that you have.
Yeah.
So you got some work to do on yourself. And I love you and I will help you do all of that. But until you get that shit taken care of, I'm going to need you to keep your distance for a little while or whatever your boundaries are. They're family members. You share DNA. That's the extent of that.
Yeah. They were people you were forced to see.
Right. I think that, well, their family is a way to manipulate.
I agree.
And I think that does a whole lot of, it sets people up for a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
A lot of ugly.
Well, they're family, but why are they treating me like this?
Right. Right.
But they're family, right. But if they truly loved me, they wouldn't call me degrading names or put me in positions where I feel uncomfortable or make me feel less than because I'm the child in the relationship, when in reality, I'm 35 years old.
Yeah, there's a power in cutting people out of your life and being okay with it. Ghosty asked why you were on the floor. Why were you on the floor, babe? What happened?
I think I was playing with my child. I remember you showed up. My son was napping on the couch. I think I was on the floor cleaning up. Oh. I'm not like this anymore. I have gotten a lot better with my cleaning, but I used to have a vacuum cleaner and then I had a hand vacuum. And I was so paranoid about my rug being dirty because both of my children were still in diapers. I didn't want them to get things out of the rug and put it in their mouth. So I would spend like an hour with my little hand vacuum vacuuming the rug and making sure I was getting everything out of it. And I pulled something in my neck and I just hit the ground. And I tried to get up. I waited maybe 15 minutes. And then my daughter started crawling around me and I was like, oh no, I can't do this by myself. I was trying to get up. I was trying to like pull myself up with the weight in my shoulders and that was not happening. That was excruciating.
Pulled something.
I couldn't put my hands behind my back to push myself up either because it did something back here. Yeah, I was a mess.
Alice Against the World said, do you have any advice for downsizing and selling property off to live in a car? This is planned because I refuse to be a guest and walked on. We need to put her in contact with Taylor.
Okay.
Because Taylor just did this. She sold all of her shit and lives in a van now.
Mm-hmm. She's thriving.
She's fucking, dude, I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
I'm so envious of the ability to do that. And like, you know how scary that is? Like, and if Alice does it, kudos to you.
Yeah, but right, because there's no bathroom.
Nothing.
No. It's literally just the car and then the outside. Yeah.
I wanted that so bad.
We can still do it.
Yeah.
Things are falling in line where we might be able to actually homeschool the kids pretty soon.
Have to buy a Class C for that, though. I'm not trying to drive anywhere with 2 dogs and 2 fucking rambunctious ass kids. Yep. We'll put you in contact with Taylor. She's in the Discord also, so we can tag you two in and get you guys talking.
Yes.
Scrolling. Chrissy said, I feel in so many ways my husband committed suicide in January. I feel this in so many ways, period. My husband committed suicide in January. Sorry about that. That sucks to hear. He was an alcoholic who mixed my pain meds from having my entire spine fused. He also got so bad that he mixed Adderall with straight vodka. His mother told me to call his bluff the night I left. He committed suicide. His mother was like my own. Now they won't even talk to me. That's rough. Sorry to hear that. Derek just reached out to us in the Aya chat.
Like, what Aya chat? There's a chat?
The Sacred Vine like ceremony chat from the weekend that we were just at. Because of the music. Because I posted, I was like, I found it. This is the song I've been looking for over a week. Yeah. And because of that, I just want to say, guys, we have somebody that was at the ceremony coming onto a live stream that we're going to do on Friday. Dude went to the jungle and lived in the jungle for 30 days doing a dieta. And I think that's going to be a very interesting conversation for a lot of people.
Oh, God, yeah. Just hearing him talk about some of the things they experienced while he was out there.
Yeah.
Before integration was wild to me.
I want that happiness. I want that level of happiness he has. It's infectious. Mariah says, as a stay-at-home spouse, how do I go about asking for money? I was in an abusive relationship before and it affects me now. I'm still in therapy and working through things, but I feel like a kid asking for allowance. How does that work for you, babe?
Okay, so I'm actually about to do this in real time. Babe, there's some things that I would like to buy for the meditation room. Would you be okay with me putting $300 on my credit card?
Guess who paid your credit card off yesterday?
Stop it. Did you really?
Yeah, it's at 0.
Yes.
It's not hard, guys.
Do we have the wiggle room for me to spend X amount of dollars?
Right.
I even overestimate. Babe, I think I'm going to spend $200 at max, but it'd probably be more like $150. I like to have a cushion.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to call you in the checkout line and be like, I underestimated and I need an additional $200. Right.
This is there's a simple fix for this too. If you guys live on a paycheck to paycheck budget or you're living close to your means, you put all your money together for bills. You pay all of your bills and then you separate what's left. And let's say you have $1,000 left at the end of the month and you want to put 500 of that into the savings and then you split the 250 between the both of you. That's your spending money for the month. The 250 is my spending money for the month. This covers gas, covers rent, covers all of our bills. Everything is paid. We both have $250 each. And you just put it there so that that's there. And you can call it an allowance if you want to, but asking for that is the only way you're going to get it. So,
oh, she's in like a baby.
Fucking dog is a D battery with legs.
You're so sweet. Yes, she is.
I like her one little leg that hangs over. She's so happy. I can hear our dogs getting jealous.
Yeah, get down, Bubba.
They're becoming restless because I'm not loving on them.
Timothy Mooney said, if y'all go to Tennessee in July, if y'all are okay with other people coming, my old lady Kim would love to come up where we could actually meet y'all and have a weekend getaway or something. We do meet and greets through our Discord.
We do not do them with our children present, though.
No, not when we have our kids.
So if we are bringing our children somewhere, there will not be a meet and greet happening. Unless we have somebody to watch the children, it'll be away from the cabin.
Yeah. There's a mom guilt question. You want to answer that one?
Hey guys, I love your videos. I wanted to ask you a question. Lately, I've been dealing with mom guilt. I'm a stay-at-home mom. My fiance works and he's a hard worker. And sometimes I feel like I don't do enough, even though I feel like I'm doing a lot. I know. Place. You don't get to just do that. I know. Come here. Down. She needed to wait for the command. And sometimes I feel like I do not do enough, even though I feel like I'm doing a lot. Sometimes I feel like he might think I do enough. Come on. I don't know what you're trying to do, but let's go. Get your butt up here. Okay, place. You're too excited. Good girl. Here's my gold babies. She's such a smart girl. I feel like I have to go above and beyond with the verbal affirmations because I don't have a treat to give her. So I need her to have that same level of, okay, I'm doing the damn thing, Mom. All right. Sometimes I feel like he might think I do enough, and it makes me feel guilty like I should do more. And sometimes I feel like I don't do enough, you know. Sometimes I feel like he might think I do enough. So you're assuming what he's thinking and hurting your own feelings. That's how that comes across. So before I continue reading, I would have a conversation with my husband. I'm feeling this way. This is how I'm perceiving myself. What is your perspective of me in my life right now? And if he tells you you're slacking, you're doom scrolling on the phone 3 hours a day, or every time I come home, you're laying on the couch and nothing has been done, you need to be prepared for that answer. And it makes me feel guilty like I should do more. He has never said that's how he feels. It's just what I think he feels like. Another thing is when we get into any kind of conflict, he doesn't want to talk about it. He shuts down for hours. It makes me annoyed, and I am an overthinker. I give him his time, and then by that time, he's cooled down and still doesn't have much to say. How do I go about that?
There's no way to know because we don't know what you're doing.
Right.
It's very easy to like give a whole lot of suggestions on what's happening, but until we can hear the way that you're talking to your person and what's actually being said, we don't know. Because him needing time to cool down could be a deflection to not argue and fight with you because you're being hostile or you're being accusatory or the way that you're approaching the situation may not be right. We're going to have to wrap up soon and go to Patreon.
Okay.
Because it's fucking 11 o'clock already. I had said Greece 2026 for most of last year. Then I decided to move west instead. I'm glad to start building my life, a better life. Also, love you both. Glad you're producing content that I relate to. Well, Greece is happening. If you want to go with us, 2026 in May. Not my dog looking at me when Peaches said place. That's funny.
Yep.
Lindsay said, I felt this so much hearing Chris say that he couldn't care less if the dishes are in the sink. He'd rather sit on the couch with Peach was an aha moment. I just asked my man, hey, are you satisfied?
Yep.
I hope that's the case. There's chat coming through in another language that I don't understand it. And I can't translate from here.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I've heard helicopter parenting, never heard helicopter husband.
Can you explain what a helicopter husband is? My wife says she doesn't want this, but I'm unsure what it means. A helicopter husband, this is from Google, is a man who is excessively involved in controlling in his wife's or children's lives, often interfering in their decisions and trying to protect them from any potential problems or setbacks. They hover over their family members, constantly checking in, making sure they are doing everything right, and intervening to fix issues before they arise.
So that's a catch-22. Because our job is to protect, provide, and lead, which means we have to be involved. But the other side of that means that you need to allow your children and your wife to make mistakes, because otherwise, how are they going to learn? When you helicopter parent specifically, and you can apply this to husband too, I guess. When you helicopter parent, you are taking your child's ability to learn how to navigate the universe on their own. Like if you have, for example, our daughter tries to play the game of I can't zip up my hoodie.
Yeah.
The fuck
I
you
can't
can't.
cover myself up in bed.
Right.
I don't know how to dry my body off.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not that you're just looking for attention. You know how to do that shit. But with the zipper specifically, well, if you can't zip up your hoodie, you're going to be cold.
Yeah.
I don't care that you're 6 years old now. Like I've shown you 15 times how to zip your hoodie up. I've walked you through it. We've done it together. I know that you know how to zip your hoodie up. It's just difficult and you don't want to learn how to do it to make it easier for yourself.
Right.
So be cold for a little while. I'm not talking about like sub-zero temperatures. We're talking about Florida weather. It'd be 60 degrees outside. You're not going to freeze to death. Figure your shit out. You need to allow people to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and navigate the world, because you're doing them a disservice when you helicopter.
Yes.
Absent-minded Fox for $5 said, how do you handle choice paralysis? When I finally get me time, I become overwhelmed with all the choices I have. I plan my me time.
I plan my me time too.
Well in advance.
Yeah.
Yep. Decision paralysis is one of those things that a lot of people with ADHD deal with. But it's simple. You can't, you finish a marathon one step at a time. You climb a mountain one step at a time. You find one thing and you accomplish that thing. Okay, what else do I need to do? And you do it. You don't go, okay, I got 900 things I got to do. Which one do I got to do first? It doesn't fucking matter. They all got to get done.
Right.
Just do something. And once you start going, see it to completion. So
I also have started really leaning onto my intuition.
yeah.
So first thing that comes to my mind, if it's not an intrusive thought, like ramming my car into a pole at 80 miles an hour. But if I'm sitting down and I finally have some alone time, and I'm thinking, oh, I could knit, or I can play my handpan, or I can go garden, I can paint, I can play my saxophone, I can watch TV, I can take a nap. I'm going to sit there, close my eyes, and deep breathe 2 or 3 times. And then the first thing, like you guys remember those magic 8 balls that you would shake? And you'd have to wait a second for it to come up to the surface and all of that black goop had to go away so you can read what it said? That's going to happen inside my brain. And whatever comes to the surface, I'm going to do that. And if I'm not enjoying myself after 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to go do something else.
You got to fill your cup.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. Spring Allison said, for $20, celebrating small wins this week, just signed a lease to my own place and purchased my dream furniture. Green velvet couch and sofa. Don't judge. Thank you for continuing to help me dive deep and grow as a human. Thanks for being here and fucking doing the work, man. Love that.
I don't think those are small wins. I think classifying things as small or big wins is, even though you're celebrating yourself, there's still a little bit of a deprecation happening. Signing a lease to your own place and buying your dream furniture is fucking huge.
Yeah. It's life-changing.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to read one more and then we're going to wrap up so we can go to Patreon and do some actual episodes. How can I gently bring up therapy again with my boyfriend? He once agreed it would help, but now life gets in the way. Very busy starting a business. He has ADHD and
a tough
past. You're right. It says though, and a tough past. Love from Holland. It needs to be approached from, I need this. This isn't a you thing. This is a me thing. I need us to go to therapy. I need to work through things and I want you to be a part of it. When you tell somebody you need to go to therapy, tell me that doesn't sound like an attack.
It is an attack.
You need to go to therapy.
Bitch,
No.
are you saying I'm crazy?
Right. What are you trying to say? I'm broken? I'm damaged?
Yeah.
How about I need therapy? Tell me that doesn't sound like an attack.
It is an attack.
You need to go to therapy.
Bitch,
No.
are you saying I'm
How about I need therapy? I would really fucking appreciate it if you came with me. I don't want to do this alone. We have a whole lot of stuff that we're trying to do in life, and I don't want to do this by myself. You're my partner. Let's fucking go. Fill your cup, not with thick smoothies, though.
Yes, thick smoothies suck.
Jay said, I appreciate that perspective, Peach. I was just telling Chris here about stacking small victories, and I didn't look at it that way or in that light. Love that. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. We're going to move over to Patreon. We're going to take a 5-minute break, let the dogs out, stretch, and all that fun shit. So if you are not a member of our Patreon, I highly recommend that you go over to Patreon. Let's see if the Nightbot will work.
We've maintained almost 400 people this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us.
I want to make sure this works before I sign off.
Yes.
Or before I hit the mute and all that fun shit. There it is. The Patreon link just got posted to YouTube. So if you guys are not there, you should do that. She said first place since my divorce, so not a small win, 1000%.
Girl, get it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
With that being said, guys, thanks for hanging out with us this Wednesday. It's been fun.
I love you all.
Only joy.
Only joy. Zaglia.